Well, happy Saturday, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from gorgeous San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, and purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Hope you guys are excited for this fantastic Saturday. Quick conversation. You know, for many of you that do know, I am in the real estate industry. This is year number 20, and I'm surrounded by the best of the best in the real estate industry. There's about 800 Keller Williams offices worldwide, and we are in the #1 Keller Williams office in the world for agent count. I believe we're at 1,030 folks that we are serving in our market center now. Phenomenal realtors, about 8,000 or over 2 billion in transactions a year. So we do quite a bit. And I was struck by something somebody said to me this weekend at the Ziglar conference. Now, I'm going to begin with the principle that I'm very careful about following. Okay? Brother Jason, good to see you, brother. There's a principle I'm very careful about following because, see, you don't do things the way the world does if you're a person of faith. You have a different set of the way things work, you know, and it's almost like bizarro world. It's almost like opposite world, okay? So let me just give you a quick example. When Jesus was talking about giving, he said this. He said, when you give, don't be like them dudes that go out there and they give to be seen. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. In fact, lots of businesses do that. He's not saying there's nothing wrong with it. He's not saying it's evil. It's not at all. He's very clear. In fact, I mean, there's businesses say, look, we raised money for this. Look, we gave money to that. Look, here's a check we want to present to that. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's cool. That's cool. But he was instructing some folks that had a different opportunity. He would say this. He'd say, when you give, don't do your giving to be seen by men, because you will have received your reward in full. What is that reward? The acknowledgement of people going, wow, they gave, right? But he said this. He says, when you give, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. In other words, don't let nobody see it. Don't let nobody know about it. And then he said this. That was the action, and here was the promise. When you do this, your Father in heaven, who sees what you do in secret, will reward you openly. Okay, so there's a different reward reserved for giving his way. So this is how it came up. Now, I don't talk about this, and I'm not boasting of this. I just know somebody is going to hear something that they need to hear today. So at this weekend with Ziglar, in the Ziglar conference, we had a room full of Ziglar legacy trainers carrying on the message of Zig Ziglar. Very few of us are coaches and trainers certified in that. And one of those fellow coaches had gone to a restaurant and met a young lady. And this young lady had a tattoo across under her neck like this. It was a quote from Rumi that said, what you are seeking is seeking you. And it intrigued the Ziglar legacy coach. And so she began a conversation with her that wound up with them having an exchange and her saying, you ought to come to the Ziglar thing this weekend. And she found out a lot about this young lady, about how her father had committed suicide when she was very young, and yet she remembered that, and she carried those wounds and those scars, and there was something inside of her that knew there was more to her than that. And to the Ziglar coaches and trainers' surprise, she said, we're having an event this weekend. Would you like to come? And the girl said, yeah, I will. She was like, I wasn't expecting her to say that. So she had an opportunity, this young girl who is very timid and shy, to come and just share a part of her story. Okay? I'm saying this to help you understand. Okay, ain't nobody know what me and Angela do. Ain't nobody know except the Lord, the giving, because we're not looking for the reward or the acknowledgement of men. It's secret stuff. In fact, Angela and I give secretly from one another many times. Like, we got this deal going on where if God puts something on our heart, or it's just in our heart, we just do it. And then we'll tell each other that night, well, you know what I did today? I met somebody and it was really cool because, you know, we are one flesh, we are one together. We're not boasting with each other. We're rejoicing and celebrating in the privilege we have of having gone through so many years of survival, scraping by, where success to us was being able to put chicken in the ramen. Okay, that it's a celebration now when we get to talk about this joy we have of giving, and we don't talk to anybody else about it. But when this girl was speaking and finished speaking, I had a compelling sense that like that, I stood up and I said, Tom, Mr. Ziglar's son, Tom, I said, she needs to be a certified Ziglar trainer. She's got a message to speak around the world. Her message needs to be heard, and it's covered. Let's just get her in. Okay? Here's why I say that. It wasn't even a thought. It was, you are blessed to be a blessing. In fact, the young lady the Ziglar trainer that invited this young lady in, this sweet lady who is a federal prosecutor, powerful, powerful woman, she had been praying that something like this would happen. She was very sensitive and did not know that in that girl's heart, because she had not even told the Ziglar trainer, in her heart, she said she had been seeing visions of herself speaking to other people. Okay? So, shortly after that, when things were settling down, Angela and I have some dear friends, David and Kanya, and there was not even a discussion about coaching or real estate or any of that. We weren't even talking about any of that. She just said, to be blessed, to be a blessing is an amazing, amazing thing. Steve Collins, that's why you should never discount your services. And it stopped me in my tracks because I thought, well, that's fascinating, Kanye. What do you mean by that? She says, when the resources are in the right hands, they flow freely. To whom much is given, much is required. And she said, the way y'all flow, you can't be discounting y'all services, because when God moves on y'all to give, you don't even think twice. You just, boom, let's do that. So I want to say this and make this public. I love discounting my services when I choose to do it. When I have served widows, when I have served a family who the husband left them behind and they were broken selling their home, when there's a person where I sense a major need there, I choose to do what I choose to do, my own way of choosing to do it. And yet if someone approaches me in the marketplace for whatever reason, looking for discounts, I don't do it. I would rather not involve myself in the transaction or the relationship than to move forward. Because do you know that just having a license, using real estate example, just having a license has nothing to do with skill set. Imagine this. Imagine if you had to hire a driver, okay? You had to hire a driver and you had 3 choices of drivers. You had to hire a driver, you had 3 choices, and the pot that you would win was $1 million, and you paid all 3 drivers, they're all gonna get paid the same. So you had a 16-year-old who just got her driver's license, who could give you all the time in the world, an 80-year-old who had been driving 3 times longer, or Jeff Gordon. And you could hire any one of those 3. Well, surely you would hire the one that could give you all the time in the world, right? Right? No? Well, what about the one that's been driving 3 times longer than Jeff Gordon? I mean, wouldn't you hire her? No? Well, why not? Well, I'll tell you why not. Plain and simple. Because having a license does not make you equal drivers with equal skill sets, equal discipline, equal coaching, equal education, equal results. Do you see what I'm saying? And yet people look at realtors that way. Well, they have a license, they're all the same. Tain't that way at all, sugar pie, honey plum. Some play to win. Most play not to lose. Some have coaching and training and learning and are getting excellent and amazing and investing. Do you know, I'm going to tell you all this. I don't even embarrass to tell you all this. I have invested more in my ongoing, non-required continuing education than I've invested in my vehicles, and I have some killer vehicles. I'll tell you right now, I'm a car guy. I've paid more on a regular basis for coaching than for my house. Me being coached. Okay? So because I have invested in this and this so that they work like that, I can discount my services. And that's what was reasoning in my heart for a season. You know what? Not anymore. I'm thinking of a new way to communicate it. I ain't going to discount my services, because when it's time for me to pull the trigger and give big, I'm going to be ready to give big. And if this relationship is not a win-win, and that's not something that can be respected or honored, that's cool. I will still love you, I will still bless you, and I will still expect and hope good things for you. We just ain't going to get to work together. And let me tell you something funny. The folks that do get to work with me, I know I ain't all that smart. When you're sitting down across from me, buddy, you got the resources of heaven at your fingertips, because I am a guitar and he is Stevie Ray Vaughan. I am the trumpet, he's Dizzy Gillespie. I am the drums and he is Neil Peart. That's all I am. The guitar don't make Stevie Ray Vaughan amazing. The trumpet didn't make Dizzy Gillespie amazing. The drums didn't make Neil Peart amazing. He made them amazing, each of those men. So they say, what's in your wallet? Well, I'm gonna ask you this. Who's in your head? Who's speaking life to you? Who's speaking hope to you? Who's speaking encouragement? Who's speaking inspiration? Who really knows what it is that you are going through and what you are doing? Who? I'm just going to ask yourself who. Because not everybody that you're listening to truly has the desire to see you become all you were created to be. You better choose wisely. So why won't I discount my services anymore? I'm no longer going to say because of the education, because of the winning, because of the experience, because of the track record, because of the history, because of the results. That doesn't even matter anymore. I thank Kanye Wright from the bottom of my heart for saying what she said out of nowhere. I don't discount my service, because you know what? Because giving to me is a really big deal. And when it's time to give big, I tend to have the resources to give, to make a difference. So ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, if you're comfortable discounting your services, it's probably because you get what you deserve in your imagination. Maybe you're playing not to lose and not playing to win. Maybe you're coming into work late. Maybe you're dressing sloppy. Maybe you're showing up sloppy. Maybe you're doing stuff at the last minute. Maybe you're not doing stuff with excellence. Maybe you're not consistently grinding to make things happen. Maybe the motivation of your heart is the money and not truly serving and changing somebody's life. And so deep down inside, you know that, so you discount yourself. I get it. Makes sense. But when you don't have all that messing with your head, and you know who you are, what you can do, and most importantly, whose you are, and the difference between you being on a mission and you having a job, when you get the difference between that, you see things differently. Ladies and gentlemen, you get what you're worth, and you give more than you get paid to. I close with what Zig Ziglar said: if you do more than you're paid to do, eventually you'll be paid more for what you do. And he said, you know what the great thing about going the extra mile? There's no traffic jams on the extra mile, ladies and gentlemen, because very few people are truly playing to win. Most are playing not to lose. So I hope today that you think about the opportunities that others will not have, because you're giving away what you worked so hard to earn in discounts, rather than taking what has been given to you, lifting it up like the fishes and the loaves, letting the good Lord bless and multiply it, so that you can go out and do for others what you would want someone to do for you. Have an awesome day, guys.